Afternoon, the opposition National Democratic Congress says it stands firmly behind its Member of Parliament, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, who is facing contempt charges in court. Party supporters and a team of traditional authorities on Tuesday morning pitched camp at the Law Court complex where the case filed by Reverend Kusi Boateng was heard for the first time. Court correspondent Joseph Akable now reports.
The secretary to the National Cathedral Board of Trustees, Reverend Kusi Boateng, says the MP should be punished for contempt. The MP's constituents, however, disagree.
Allege that our boss, our MP, the leader of Northtown, which is the MP, is in the court. So the citizens felt that they are supposed to be here to support him. Whatever is going to happen, and they are here to support him.
But so far, do you have an understanding of what exactly the issues are here? Because to come to the conclusion that you need to come here and support me, you must have some appreciation of what is going on.
Alleged one, Kusi Boateng made an allegations of true identity. That's what we know so far. So we are here to find out what is allegation that she's making, whether it's true or not. But we are here as a citizen because we know the MP, what is the MP is capable to do. Don't criticize me about what I'm doing, but try also to do something so that you also can get a name, a proper name. So if maybe simply means that what Okudzeto is doing, that's the name is all over, that we all know that everywhere you reach, the name is all over, that you want to destroy his name, you want to destroy his image. That's the meaning of the song.
When you pay attention to the things happening, it is important that the likes of Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa must be celebrated for exposing the lies and the rotten system that we are in. Look at the case before the court, very trivial, such that a man of God or a supposed man of God who on different occasions has used different names, different dates of birth, and different personal data or biodata, such a person will be the one seeking to gag a member of parliament from doing his work. That in 2016 he has a different voter's ID card with different date of birth. 2020, different age, different date of birth. On numerous occasions, his family has celebrated him for different dates of birth. This is the kind of system that we are, and it's important for us to expose it.
The case was heard for the first time on Tuesday. The court asked that a member of parliament be served properly with the processes even though he was present in court. The case was therefore adjourned indefinitely. Key party figures including General Secretary Fifi Kwete, Deputy Minority Leader Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa say the MP will not be gagged.
The NDC as a party, from the national through the region, through Ketu, through Northtown, is fully behind our comrade, our brother, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. To say that the party is not deterred at all, that there's nothing that the forces that are against the truth can do to discourage him or to make him feel that what he's doing is not the right cause. We believe the cause he's fighting is the cause of truth, the cause of transparency, and there's nothing that can be done to discourage him. And the party stands fully 100% behind him. And that's why we are here to show exactly that.
Our distinguished Honorable Member of Parliament, Okudzeto Ablakwa, who has dedicated his life in fighting for the right things done for the country, in fighting for corruption, in ensuring that our constitution is upheld. You should have seen Mr. Adu Jemfi in court, but instead, you know who was in court? The man who was fighting for the right thing for Ghana, Okudzeto Ablakwa. And that is why you are all here. That is why you see all the crowd here. The people of Ghana are committed and support all the right things he's fighting for. The minority in parliament stands strongly behind him. And we want to make it clear. Today we went to court, it was obvious that the people who took us to court are running away from their own application. And this is really a victory for the people of Ghana. What it is that we are very clear in our mind. We are going to stand by Okudzeto and fight for the right thing for the people of Ghana.
Sort of mood, they are pouring the powder on him. You can see him there, they are pouring the powder on him and cheering him on. A number of them, earlier when we spoke to them, they said they had simply come to support him. A number of them cheering him on.
And except of what transpired in court actually today, and of course the party in the region, I mean the NDC in the Volta region, is beginning to wade into the matter, asking the court to be circumspect on this case. As to why they're putting out that statement, we'll find out shortly from James Gunu, who happens to be the regional secretary for the party. But first, I want to get more from our court correspondent, Joseph Akable, who's joining me now via Zoom. And Joe, it must have been a very tiring day in court today, having to see supporters of not just the opposition NDC, but even traditional rulers appear in court today. Give us some updates on what transpired today.
It's a bit of a surprise. I mean, we had picked information that these individuals, that is some members of the party's leadership, and some individuals belonging to the traditional authority in North Town, because you recall, just a couple of days back, there was a statement that was issued by the traditional authority indicating that they were unhappy about what they believed was an attempt to gag the member of parliament. And so, yes, there was the sense of support for the member of parliament, but the manner we saw it play out when we got to the law court complex opposite the road, I mean, the main entrance, you had the members of the traditional authority clad in the red over there, some of them barefooted, others from, I mean, all the way coming from the constituency, at least what they told us, pitching camp there. Then when you enter the court premises itself, inside the courtroom where the case was heard, it was almost impossible for an individual to find an empty seat in the courtroom. So that was the extent of support that was shown to the member of parliament. In terms of his own party leadership in parliament, we know that his deputy minority leader, Emmanuel Amakufi-Boa, was present in court leading the minority group. We know that at the party national level, we know that Afifi Ablakwa was there. And in that as clip that you played as part of the report you played earlier, you heard Fifi Kwete say that he enjoys the support of members of the party at all levels. He says from North Town to Keta to every level, they believe that this is what he's doing. And I mean, the latter part of the report, you saw the point of the powder. I mean, the question that...
Yeah, I was just about to go there to find out what exactly was happening, because the courts won't tolerate, say, a protest within the precincts of the court complex. So how did these women clad in red make it to the courts today?
I mean, they didn't come into the court premises itself. They were stationed opposite the law court complex. In terms of what the court will permit and not permit, at least they didn't get access to the court premises itself, because there were security personnel available, a lot of policemen who were regulating the activities over there. So they were, I mean, had determined that, okay, this is where the limits that you can be at, you can't go beyond this level. All those things had been well demarcated. As to whether going forward, some changes were made, especially because of what happened at the latter part of proceedings, after proceedings, when the powder was being poured and virtually the road in front of the law court complex, vehicles could not move along that road for at least about 2 or 3 minutes till the member of parliament got into his vehicle and left the premises before the road eased up a bit. And so that was a bit of it there. In terms of the case itself, and that is the interesting aspect of this whole proceedings.
Right.
A lot of people are thinking that a major thing has happened today by all of the court processes. I mean, the scenes that we saw at the end of the proceedings may suggest to some that there had been a ruling or of some sorts. I mean, but their victory in their minds and what they told us was about the fact that the individual who had brought them to court, they came, the person says that the MP should be punished for defying the court's orders by way of how he had reacted to the process that was served on him. Now they've come and they say that, okay, it's not served as, but move your application. And the lawyers were saying that, look, we think it's not been served properly, so we don't want you to move the application, let's take a date. Then the lawyers for the MP insist that move the application. Then still the court agrees with the view of Reverend Kusi Boateng's legal team to now adjourn the matter. So as far
And
as
what may
they are concerned,
what may be accounting for that sort of bravado, if you want to call it that way, on the part of the MP saying, well, you've not served me properly, but I'm here, let's go on?
I mean, as far as from what we understand from the legal team and in terms of the processes that they filed, which we saw, I mean, they hold a view that substantively, they don't think that the member of parliament has defamed Reverend Kusi Boateng. So that is for the substantive defamation matter. In terms of this contempt issue, they think that it's a matter that they could offer some explanation. In fact, the suggestion that we obtained from the documents available was to the effect that they did not even know that the individual who was trying to effect service, we're not certain that it was actually a court official trying to effect that service. But those are all matters that they would have to offer explanation to the court, and as to whether that will be satisfactory to the court will be another issue altogether.
Okay.
But we get a sense from them that they do not see this as an issue that they should be running away from, for which reason they took the view that this is a matter that they could be confronted with immediately.
Blake, just hold on for us, because there are many out there who are wondering what the facts of this matter is, or this case is. We'll break that down shortly. But I also want to welcome the General Secretary, or the Regional Secretary, I should say, of the National Democratic Congress in the Volta region, James Guno. He was also there in court today. Thank you, sir, for your time here on The Pulse. So we've never seen this before. Well, we've seen that when, of course, many of your rank and file are arrested and perhaps taken to the headquarters of the police service. But this kind of support, massing up and calling on your members to turn up, I mean, in court. This is a threat to our democracy, isn't it?
Thank you very much. This is never a threat to our democracy. We were in court believing strongly that this particular case is just to gag our member of parliament,
right,
who is a pride of North Town and a brand for the Volta region. And I was actually shocked to my bone this morning when we got to court, and it turned out that the member of parliament was not properly served. There was also a revelation by the judge that before he left for weekend, he saw a proof of service on the file or the docket. But this morning, he could not find that proof of service on the member of parliament who happens to be the respondent in this particular case. And he could only see proof of non-service on the file. So the question is that, where is this document that the judge saw and read, according to the judge himself, before going to weekend? Who tampered with the docket? This needs to be investigated. Now, when we were in court, the lawyers for the member of parliament indicated that yes, even though he was not properly served, they saw the writ on social media and they requested from the plaintiff's lawyer, who provided the writ, the original writ, to the Honorable MP's lawyers. That's Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa. So, based on that, they have prepared themselves to face whatever charges that are leveled against the Honorable Member of Parliament. Then the lawyers for the applicants, the plaintiff, were now pleading with the judge for adjournment of the case. I was surprised that, these lawyers would now be calling on the judge to adjourn the case. And then the judge said that, okay, as it stands now, the respondents have not been served properly. According to the lawyers of the plaintiff, the bailiff went to Parliament House as required by the law, but they could not get the opportunity to serve the Honorable Member of Parliament. And they made reference to that, but failed to make reference to the fact that the Honorable Member of Parliament was at Metro TV when somebody purported to be a bailiff was there to serve the court document on the Member of Parliament. So the judge later said that, okay, he had to adjourn the case, to give the opportunity to for the proper service on the Member of Parliament before they come to court. So we believe strongly that the Honorable Member of Parliament's revelation that is going on as far as the identity of the plaintiff is concerned, because the plaintiff himself was not in court. He was represented by somebody by name Calvin Ochre. Now, we again believe that this is an attempt rather to intimidate the Honorable Member of Parliament. That is one of the reasons why we had to mobilize ourselves and show solidarity and comradeship.
Okay, so you're confirming. So you're confirming that for me. You're confirming exactly what I was asking. So you asked your supporters from the Volta region to appear in court today, correct? You're calling it mobilization.
We came individually. Everybody has been monitoring the development. So people from North Town came on their own. The regional executive, the regional chairman was there, the regional youth organizer, regional communication. Most of the regional executives went to court, and then the constituency executives and supporters of the party, upon hearing that the Honorable Member of Parliament is going to court today on these frivolous charges, everybody is angered by this development. The General Secretary of our party was also present in court, so that we send a strong signal to whoever, the long hand that is behind this intimidation and harassment of an innocent child who is fighting for this generation and generations yet unborn. That rather should be seen as a threat to our democracy, and not we citizens who feel that there's something going wrong and that we need to voice out, we need to show our support for the Member of Parliament.
I mean, what's giving you this? What's giving you this basis?
Properly.
Yes, but what's giving you this basis to believe that there's a long hand, quote unquote, as you're using it? I mean, this is a Member of Parliament making claims against an individual. The facts aside that he's a reverend minister as well. He's an individual entitled to the benefits, the rights and privileges that as enshrined in the Constitution. And the belief is that Samuel Okudzeto as an MP will simply comply with the court procedures. If it comes out clean, fair enough. Don't you feel that you're sidestepping procedure, you're intimidating the process, in fact, you're gate crashing, if we can use the words?
What is the court procedure here? And what is so revealing and annoying that they will lie, that the Member of Parliament was served and they forged a document indicating a proof of service on him. And then today in court, it turned out that he was not served. And the judge could confess that the judge actually saw a proof of service on the docket and read through before going on the weekend. But this morning he picked the file and he could not find the proof of service, but rather a proof of non-service on the member of parliament. Who is doing that? Who is doing that through the bailiffs or the court officials? Who? We should be asking this question.
These are questions that, well, I may not be able to provide answers to, but what do you feel must happen as a political party? Because
this is a clear political persecution to intimidate the honorable member of parliament from revealing further, corrupt activities that are associated with this whole cathedral deal.
You've had this perception long enough, because even before the case will be heard, we've seen a statement signed by your good self as the regional secretary of the NDC in the Volta region, asking the courts to be circumspect. You go on to make some other claims. Is it the case that you have some sort of prejudice even before the case will be heard? Why not allow the courts to work? What do you suspect as a political
we
party?
even have prejudice. This development has actually confirmed what we've been saying. The development that I've just mentioned to you actually confirmed, what we indicated earlier, that the whole, suit is about trying to intimidate the honorable member of parliament and make him, put a stop to all the revelations that are associated with this cathedral thing and the identity crisis that is that the Reverend Minister is facing.
Okay, the next steps, of course, this is just part of the processes. He'll be reappearing in court. That's if the right processes are taken through and he gets served through Parliament. Are we going to be seeing this every other day, seeing scores of your party members, rank and file, women, as we've seen, clad in red, appearing before the court all the time?
It will even be more than what we saw this morning, because we still believe that it's a clear attempt of trying to intimidate the honorable member of parliament. And the member of parliament is not fighting for himself, is fighting for this generation, is fighting for generation yet unborn. And if Christ could die and save this world, our forefathers also died or laid down their life to save this country. We are also ready to lay down our life to save our generation and also ensure that the wrongdoing, the corruption, and other things that are going on as far as this cathedral issue and other issues are concerned, we also fight. And we will support the Honorable Member of Parliament for Northton, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, going forward. So this is just the beginning. And it is our hope and prayer that, having tried to truncate the court process and serve the Honorable Member of Parliament through the window or the back door, they come out properly, or better still, drop this case against the Member of Parliament.
You keep using the word intimidation, but where's the evidence, really? Are you not being overprotective?
The evidence is clear that if you are not intimidating the Member of Parliament, you do the right thing at the right time. You understand? Why? I mean, the lawyers were ready. The respondents' lawyers were ready this morning. But the lawyers for the plaintiff, who himself was not in court, were praying to the court for an adjournment. They know what they have.
James Gunu, are you still there with us?
That they know that they are not doing the right thing. They know in the case. You understand?
Precisely.
So, yes, it is obvious, it is clear that the plaintiff has no case against the respondent or the applicant had no case against this innocent member of parliament. But they are finding every means, every possible means to make sure that they stop him from, reviewing further corrupt practices. And then issues that he has raised concerning the double identity of
I get the
Kusi
point.
Boateng.
Now, James, we need to wrap up, but there's one incident that occurred before the proceedings today, and that went viral on social media. We saw the Honorable MP, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, kick off a certain document. We're not sure if he was being served. We're not, because we're just seeing gestures in that video that went viral on social media. As party leadership, have you spoken to Ablakwa if indeed those were the documents, what transpired, and how come an MP of a standing will be kicking away such a document?
In fact, I have not seen that video you are talking about.
Really?
If I see it, I'll be able to comment on it.
You've never seen that video?
I've not seen it. I'm here to see that video you are talking about.
He wasn't kicking any item?
When did it happen? Where?
But you were just telling me earlier that there was an attempt to serve Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa when he was stepping out from a TV studio. I'm sure you know what ensued.
What I said was that the lawyers for Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa asked the applicant's lawyers, that how come they were able to refer to the attempt by the court to serve the honorable member of parliament in Parliament House through the speaker, which is the proper thing to do. But they never made mention of an attempt by anybody to serve the member of parliament in Metro TV.
So you've never seen the video?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. Well, we'll have to leave our conversation here. It's been a long day for you. As you're indicating, you'll be back in court when proceedings actually start, but we're grateful.
It is actually my prayer that they drop this whole case. Because
that's what you're calling for as a party?
In fact, it is just an attempt to, intimidate him and also gag him and make him silence over the, identity issues and also the corrupt practices that actually has to do with the cathedral project.
Well, we need to leave it here. Thank you, James Gunu. I'm grateful that you've spent some time with us here on The Pulse on that case between Reverend Kusi Boateng and North Member of Parliament Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Obviously, some shocking details there. He's not watched the video, but we'll still keep our eyes on that case and definitely bring you some updates.